We are back, and today we're starting a new series if you boys like it. The season is over in 2024. We're still going to have gameplays, so make sure you like and subscribe to this video so you don't miss out. Now today, it's all about tier listing, boys. We already have all of the cards that we're going to be having in 2024, and now it's about ranking them in tiers. So we're going through first baseman today. We have only the 99s, the best of the best first baseman. We have different tiers: S tier, A tier, B tier, C, D, F. Man, if these guys make it an F tier, they must have done something very, very wrong. I'm looking at these captain cards that nobody has ever used. Unless you're making a theme team build, wasn't my cup of tea this year. First guy we got to look at is Mr. Lou Gehrig. Now, Lou Gehrig, man, this guy, I believe he was a collection reward. I know that I never unlocked him, but I know that he always has a smooth, buttery swing. Always insane, rakes versus righties, but can't do crap versus a lefty. He's going to have to be, I want to be pretty strict. I think he's going to have to be bottom of A tier, so we'll put him in A for now. We'll see how it goes. Then we got the boy, Freddie Freeman. This guy was hard to unlock, man. Not necessarily, but I think it was one of those new Yankees-Dodgers type programs. Again, Freddie Freeman, good swing. Not the best first lefties. I'm putting him in B tier. A lot of these guys are going to be lefties, going to be hard to hit. Buck Leonard. Buck Leonard. Was Buck Leonard anything good? Now, a lot of these guys, I might not, personally use them. So you're going to have to comment down below if I rank these guys too high, too low, what you agree, what you don't agree with. Buck Leonard, man, never used. Never used, never will. Bye-bye. You're not A, you're not B. I mean, realistically, it's going to have to be D. Now, we're looking at these guys as if they're first base. This is all primary first baseman. We're not looking at guys that can play catcher. This is if you have him at first base, this is the ranking. Now, Vlad. Vlad is a guy that I did give a chance on the team, boys. And he's batting .222 for me. He's got the stats in the game, man. This guy's stats are good. He's got 125 contact versus right, 120 contact left, and then about 110 power both sides. You would think, I thought he was going to be an A tier type player when I used him. He wasn't. Vlad was batting .222, and it's a shafting, but he's C tier. Paul Goldschmidt. Man, oh man. Who remembers the World Baseball Classic, Paul Goldschmidt? Because that guy was actually insane. As a remembrance to the 93-ish, as a remembrance to the Nolan Arenado and the Paul Goldschmidt that carried me early in the year with their World Baseball Classic cards, I'm going to throw him at the top of B tier, man. I think he's got a good stance. We got 99 Michael Busch. He's a solid swing, man. But, compared to some of these other big names, it's not as good. I'm going to have to put him at C tier as well. And I never used him, so I'm just going to put him below Vlad. Joey Votto. Votto is a guy that I did in fact use. I used him. And I wasn't too pleased about the result, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I was actually displeased. I was batting below 100 with Mr. Votto. And that could be just me. I will give him this. The hits he got, they were home runs. But, I mean, he's got to be right there with Vlad, and I like his swing better than Vlad. Top of C tier. Jose Abreu, 99 overall. I don't like Abreu's stance, I'm just going to be honest. And we're going to have a lot of boys in these bottom tiers, it looks like. The card art's kind of nice. It'll save him from being D tier. Bryce Harper. And this is where I get more hate, man. And people are just going to comment, you're bad at the game. I wanted to like Harper, I really did. And he played solid. He played well, just not as well as I expected. I did like him better than Vlad. He will make his way into B tier, top of B tier for me. Buck O'Neil. Buck O'Neil, Buck Leonard. They're both the same, man. These guys both, not going to be making my team. Going to have to put him in D tier. David Fry, never used him, never would. I mean, it's just not my cup of tea. C tier. Another 99 Vlad. This is where things get interesting because I never used this 99 Vlad card. So now I kind of just have to go off, how did I like the other Vlad cards, right? And I didn't like the other Vlad card. So I'm just going to put him right down there with him, presumably, side by side. Then we have, who's that? Luis Arias. Now, the thing about Luis Arias, guys, He's got the stats that I like, except for the speed. He's a contact hitter first baseman. Who wants a contact hitter at first base, though, right? Those are the type of guys you want to move them around the infield. Obviously, a guy like this, he has the secondary positions, but we're looking at him as a first baseman. As a first baseman, he's not going to be somebody I'm going to be using at first base, although I do like his inverse splits with the high contact, lower power. Todd Helton's a solid card, man. He's got the stats. I'm actually put Todd Helton in B tier. We have Carlos Santana. Oh, baby. Now we're talking about a guy who's a switch hitter. I think this might be one of our first switch hitting first basemen, and that's going to put him a bit higher on this list. We do have to factor in, can Santana play multiple positions? We're actually going to move Freddie down a little bit. I like that. Oh, baby. And we have our first S tier card. We have the first S tier card. It's Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard, big piece. If you have not tried this card out, highly suggest that you do. He is S tier, and you'll soon realize why. Yandy Diaz, he's a solid card, man. I'm actually going to move these rankings down a little bit. We'll put him in B tier. Tony Clark, never used, and I would not use. So he's going to have to be a D tier type player. Now, realistically, guys, if I haven't used one of these cards, they're going to have to be, they can't be higher than B tier. They can't be higher than B tier if I haven't used them. So a lot of these guys, they could be better, and that's where you got to comment down below. These rankings, I can update them post-video. And this is a dynamic type list. So guys like Yandy Diaz, Goldschmidt, if they're actually A tier, I'll move them up. I will. Frank the Tank. I mean, who remembers his immortal card? Frank the Tank always has the high stat, the high power, and then the lack of fielding awareness. I mean, I liked all of these Hall of Fame cards a good bit. I haven't used him. So I got to put him in B tier, but I think he probably could be a bit higher. Jonah Bride, he's just not. He's not going to be able to compete with some of these other names on this list. Orlando Cepeda, action figure type card. Again, nobody is really using this guy. Going to have to put him in D tier. Mark McGwire. Okay. Now, this is a guy, he's got the power. Does he have the swing I like? He does not. Put him in. Oh, whoa, B tier's a bit high. But I know that the guys of this series, this card series was pretty good. All of these players had pretty good swings, played pretty well. I'm going to put him here. We got John Kruk. Okay. As much as I'm a Phillies fan, we already have our one Philadelphia Philly. John Kruk, unfortunately, wasn't able to do anything well this year. Rafael Palmeiro. Now, this guy, I think he was pretty good. I'm going to have to pull him up real fast. And yes, Rafael Palmeiro, he was a very solid card this season. Where did I put him? Did I get lost in the sauce? There he is, Rafael Palmeiro. He was pretty solid, man. He was pretty solid. And I'm actually going to throw him... I'm going to put him in A tier. I like this stance a lot. Mike Napoli, yeah, stick to catching, buddy. As a first baseman, not necessarily the best type card. C tier. Carlos Delgado. Delgado was a solid type card. He's always had solid cards in this game. If I look at his stats, he's got 125, 125 versus righties, contact and power. He does have the 125 clutch. He's a solid type player. He belongs in B tier for sure. Looking up, now this is where the viewership drops down because Joe Torre. I know we weren't factoring in other positions, but he plays catcher and we have to factor that in. Just for Joe Torre, we got to factor it in, boys. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I'm batting 1,000 with him in 5 at-bats. He is a contact machine, and his stance is actually surprisingly good. Go try out Joe Torre. A tier is probably way too high, man. But trust me, he can actually get it done, believe it or not. Now we got Jim Thome. Jim Thome has very good stats, kind of a long swing. Again, I mean, it's hard to say without playing more games with him. Got to be an B tier type card, not C tier. Willie McCovey, similar story here. I'm not convinced. B tier as well. Carlos Pena, nope, didn't like him. Gonna have to drop him a little bit down towards D tier. Not my type. Now this is tough. Eddie Murray. Where does Eddie Murray belong, boys? He's a switch hitting type player. He plays pretty well. He's probably gonna have to be a B tier. But where in B tier? Another switch hitter with Carlos Santana. I'm going to put Harper above Jim Thome. We'll figure out the exact rankings later. Richie Sexson, okay, pulling him up, and his stats are just not good. He's a righty. I mean, 100 contact versus right, 102 versus left. Does have good power, decent fielding. I mean, who's going to use him over the other cards? He's at the bottom of D tier, though. We'll move him up above these guys. All right, Justin Morneau. Now, Justin Morneau, he's had cards in the past that have played pretty well. He can have a long swing in the past. We do have his captain card as well. And the thing about Justin Morneau is that he will rake versus righties, but then versus lefties, he can be a can of crap. He's going to be a B tier with this type player right here. We'll put him behind Harper. All of these captain cards, guys, I'm putting them low. Like, they're usable, but they're really only the best if you have the captain type boost. You know, factoring in the fact that they're unboosted right now, I'm going to have to drop these guys quite low. Now, David Ortiz. This David Ortiz actually is pretty solid. His boost, you know, these are all team captains. This David Ortiz, he's going to have to be S tier. He's going to have to be S tier, and there's a reason for that. There is a reason, you know, quick commenting. The reason is, yes, I'm batting 125 with him, but the reason is, this guy, if you have 11 hitters from 2000 to 2010 on your team, which is very doable, you get plus 20 contact and power versus right, plus 25 clutch, and plus 15 contact left. This is one of the best captain boosts in the game. He's got to be S tier, and it's our second S tier of the video. Jake Bowers, another guy I didn't try out. We're going to throw him with the rest of these World Series type cards. We're going to actually throw him down a little bit right there. Who else do we have? We got, looks like 10 more guys to rank. We got Freddie Freeman, a second one. Now, let me check how I was with this Freddie Freeman. I believe I do have him on the team. I do. 9 at-bats, 0.0000 batting average. It's unfortunate, but we have tried him out, and it was a failed experiment. Max Muncy, looks like another captain right here. Season awards and top now captain. Yeah, again, I'm just going to put him above the other team builder captains. David Ortiz. Man, this is a card I would like to try out. I obviously struggled with his captain. He has 120 contact and power right. That's pretty solid. Versus lefties, it's not great. He has 38 speed and he has common defense. But his swing can compete, and it's actually going to boost his ranking a little bit. Prince Fielder, similar story, kind of similar to David Ortiz. He's a guy that you kind of can use on your team. We'll put him in B tier. Matt Olson, again, you know, some people struggle with him with his long swing versus lefties, some don't. Pete Alonso's 99 with this World Series card. We actually will throw him a bit higher. I think he has a pretty solid playable stance. Matt Carpenter, nope. Who remembers when he had 1 million home runs, though? But all these captains, they're not going to make it high on the ranking list for me. They're actually all going to be down in F tier. They're only good if you're using a theme team type boost, and that's going to lower some of their rankings. Now, this isn't the final rankings. I'm going to go in here and hopefully look at every single letter tier and do some more handy work before I say these are final. Figure out what I like, what I don't like. Again, comment down below. Now, we have CJ Cron. See, this CJ Cron, let me check. I am pretty sure this CJ Cron played very, very well. Surprisingly so as a righty. And, yeah, he did play pretty well, actually. So I'm going to have to put this CJ Cron in A tier. He was actually a pretty solid card used very early on in the season. And we'll have our first F for a non-captain card with Jeff Bagwell. So here's the list. S tier, big piece David Ortiz. A tier, Joe Torre. It's glitched right here, so I guess that's unfortunate. You know, am I missing anyone? No, I guess not. All right, that must have been a glitch. Joe Torre, Lou Gehrig, Palmeiro, CJ Cron. Yandy Diaz, David Ortiz, Frank Thomas, Goldschmidt, Santana, Harper. A lot of boys in B tier. Now, this B tier, this is not me being harsh. B tier are guys that are definitely usable, and it kind of, you know, they're not considered the GOATs with everyone. Like, not everybody's jumping to use Santana. I mean, a lot of people do use Santana if he can play catcher. But, you know, not everyone's jumping to use Carlos Delgado. He's got to be lower. Not everyone's jumping to use these guys, okay? That's kind of the point is what I'm trying to make. Not everyone's going to use Prince Fielder, Matt Olson, things like that. C tier, These are the guys where not only is not everyone jumping to use them, but they also don't play as well as the guys in B tier. Like, there's people that rake with Eddie Murray, people that rake with Santana, people that love these Frank Thomas type cards, Willie McCovey. These guys, they're not as loved. Vlad, obviously, he could be higher on other people's list. I just haven't been able to hit well with him, so the Vlad cards did struggle a little bit in this ranking. D tier, they're not getting it done. Nobody's going to be using these guys on their team for the most part. And then F tier, even worse. How's the list, boys? If you liked the video, tell me what position to be doing next. This is the first baseman list. Comment down below, what do I got to change? Peace out. Thanks for watching.